What's up, C Squad? It's Daddy C
and Mommy C
on a special edition of Dad and Mom Kick Talk. Today, Mom's here with us because we are doing a special inaugural release that we are excited to get in hand. But before we get into it, Mommy C, what should people do if it's their first time here?
Well, first of all, I don't think you told the people, in case you have some new folks here, that normally is Dad and Son Kick Talk, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a special guest today. So.
Nigel C is behind the camera today.
That's right. But thank you for having me. Thank you for replacing, with me, Nigel C.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, if it is your first time here, make sure you ring the bell so you can get notifications for whenever Daddy C drops the new content, because it's always hot.
Stay up on our content, that's right. And today we are getting into the Nike Dunk Low CAU, also known as Clark Atlanta University.
Yes.
This is a special shoe, special part of the campaign, the Yard Runners campaign that Nike is doing. This is Yard Runner 3.0 program they launched back in 2020. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so Nike, obviously has long been amplifying the stories, and they've supported, our people, black people, in the culture of sneakers and athletics. Obviously Michael Jordan being their biggest, greatest athlete, right, that Nike has ever inked up.
Mm-hmm.
And, Bo Jackson, and a long history of, now spotlighting historically black colleges and universities, of which I am an alum of, and of which you have been, a part of?
Yes, I can't officially say I'm an alum, although I have been to two historically black
Two of the
colleges.
biggest.
Yes, right? Shall I say which one?
Absolutely.
Okay, here's a hint. I'm wearing the colors today, red and black, the jacket here.
The big shoe in
right?
his box.
There's no, they can't tell what the shoe is yet.
Well,
they
I
don't
just told
know.
him. Clark Atlanta University.
Was I asleep just now?
I think so. The
I'm sorry.
Clark Atlanta University Dunk. That's why we're here today.
Okay, so you gotta say it big.
All
That's
right,
the thing. When you mention the Clark, you gotta say it big.
The Nike Yard Runner, the Nike Dunk Low, Clark Atlanta University.
There you go.
Right.
That's Howard.
Yeah, wrong school.
Yeah, see, I went to Howard as well. But Clark Atlanta, love it.
That's right.
Daddy C got this shoe for me, and I'm super pumped about it.
That's right.
Let me say, instead of which is Howard University, right?
Mm-hmm.
CAU is CAU.
Oh, yeah? Is that what you said at the football games and
Every
stuff?
time you put the sneakers on, you're going to have to say that.
You're going to say it.
Okay.
Because these are your size.
Right. Oh, you don't have any. You're not getting any for yourself?
I didn't go to Clark.
I know, but you should get to represent me.
I got you a pair. I'm wearing an HBCU athlete sweatshirt in a blue and orange colorway, courtesy of my people at Game Sports Gear. Look them up. But blue and orange representing Morgan State University.
Okay.
My school, my alma mater.
And is that shoe out yet?
No, we don't have a Morgan State shoe.
All
Unfortunately, we're not part of the program.
Oh,
Come on,
sorry.
Nike. No, so Yard Runners, they've been, supporting and sponsoring HBCUs like Morehouse and Spelman, Tennessee State University, and now Clark Atlanta, FAMU actually got shoes. So that's why we're going to get into this today.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so enough talk. Let's get into the actual shoe. And while we're doing that, we'll have a little background story as well about how we got to procure these.
Oh, okay.
But this is the shoe.
Woo!
Bam! You got the Clark Atlanta University Dunk.
Yes.
Let's get the other shoe, Mommy C.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't
Let
know
us
what to
review
do here.
One shoe.
I'm normally behind the camera.
Think about the direction you give us when you're filming
I
all the
know,
time.
right? It's a whole different world over here.
She is our camera person and producer behind the scenes. So
but look at the shoe. Check the colors.
Yes, check those colors
right?
out.
Woo.
The materials are like classic Dunk materials, but the way they did the colors and little accents and details on the shoe are exquisite to me. I will say getting a pair of these in hand wasn't the easiest thing, and what they're doing, which is great for these local school releases. So Clark Atlanta, if you're not in Atlanta, it's hard to get. They did local releases to boutiques in that area. They did on-campus first come, first serve for current students. And a lot of the raffles in some of the boutiques around Clark Atlanta, like Wish, Leverage, where we actually got a pair from, was done for alums, right? So alumni raffles, but you had to have a degree, a diploma or something like that from a lot of those to prove you went to Clark Atlanta University, which was great. So that way, it kind of kept it away from, tried to keep it away from a lot of resellers, scalping those pairs and then jacking the price up and selling them, to Clark students.
Right.
Wasn't foolproof because I saw a lot online where a lot of these did get backdoored, which I'm not too happy about. So Nike, please do something about that because this is out of control.
Yes,
but
for the students.
Nevertheless, we got our hands on a pair for Mommy C.
Yay. Thank you so much. I love these. And I think they'll go great with this little fit I'm wearing right now. Don't you
Right,
think?
you matching, you ready.
Right.
You ready with your colors here.
Yes.
So I love one of the details I love about this shoe is the mix match reverse colorway of the shoe, right?
Did y'all notice that?
Yeah, one's black and gray, one's gray and
See
black,
that?
right? And red.
Cool, right?
And they did that, and there's another detail on the back, 1988, right?
Hey.
1988 is not when Clark Atlanta was founded, because that was only a little while ago. Do you know what it's from?
I'm gonna guess that is when Clark College and Atlanta University merged into Clark Atlanta
Boom!
University.
Look at
Am I
you
right?
knowing something about the school you went to.
I know a little something about where I went.
Look
How
at
about
that. Yes, 1988, Clark College, Atlanta University became Clark Atlanta University.
Mm-hmm.
The
Wait a
home-
second. There was 2 universities before that?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's 2 separate universities,
Into
2
one.
separate schools.
That's right.
And they became one, Clark
Yeah.
Atlanta University.
That's cool.
Yep.
History for you.
Yeah,
There
thank
you go. And one of the super nice details on here, they give you some fancy laces with some fancy aglets on the laces, nice little metal aglets to cap it off.
Oh, it's weighted.
Yeah, it's
kinda
pretty heavy.
I like that.
And then also, what's on the laces, Mommy C?
Find a way or make one.
Which is what?
Which is Clark's motto.
Find a way or make one. That's right. Talking about being a trailblazer.
That's right.
Right? Is you find a way or you make your own, right? Which is great. And another detail. I mean, there's details all over this shoe.
It really is.
I love the colors. The icy bottom is dope. You know, on a dunk to get that
the
clear.
Panther.
There you go. That translucent.
Oh, that's nice.
With the panther on the bottom as well. You know, just paying homage to the school mascot.
That's really a cool touch, but why do manufacturers put things on the bottom of a shoe? Nobody's ever going to see that.
I mean, you know it's there.
I mean,
right?
I can understand if it's like the red bottoms because you lift your foot up as you walk in and you can see the red, right?
People are looking under your foot as you
Sometimes,
walk.
or if you're sitting down, if you cross your leg.
Cross your leg, there you
then
go.
you can see it.
So you cross your leg,
That's
you give
true,
people a
yeah.
slight flex, right? Like, hey,
Right.
you see my shoe? It's not a
Yeah.
normal bottom of a shoe.
That's true.
Actually,
Okay.
it's clear and has a logo on it. But they also gave you the panther on the tongue as well. So if you look closely on that, you get that detail.
Yes.
And then on the
And
back
the
of the
other
tongue,
side.
look at that.
Aw.
You didn't even see that.
Nope, I sure didn't. One says Clark College and one says Atlanta University.
I was literally thinking
Boom.
What?
that the difference in the shoes, because like you see how the colors are different on the shoes. You guys mentioned it.
Right.
I was thinking that maybe one shoe is like Clark College and one is Atlanta University.
You got it, man.
That's why they did it like that,
They're
right?
dropping bombs in here. Look at this.
Uh-huh.
My family is, their third eye is open.
It is.
Third eye.
I'm woke.
And that's still
Nice.
not it. A little more detail. Check this out.
What else we
On
got?
the inside, you see some street names on the insole of the shoe. That there's the streets that are near the
I
college.
didn't see that.
Like, I forget what
Oh my
does yours
gosh,
say?
Beckwith. I think that's where I used to park.
Is that cool?
Serious,
Beckwith.
yeah.
You got Losh. What does that say? Losh South, and then Roach
Lachey,
Street.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, and then they've got some
Beckwith
more.
is very familiar.
There you go. So these, it's like a little
And I
map.
think that says James Abernathy, which is, I believe, that's the street that the school is on.
Yep.
James P. Abernathy.
There you go.
Something like that.
School, the streets near the school.
Memories. Oh, this brings back memories.
Tell the
of
people when you went to
college.
Clark. When was this? This was in what era?
Must we?
I mean,
All right,
just ballpark.
I went in '93. We graduated from high
You could
school.
have just said the 90s.
See, okay. You called me out, then I gotta say it. So, okay, we graduated high school in '93.
That's right.
And that's when I went to Clark Atlanta, and I stayed there for about a year, and then I did transfer to Howard, but remained close. With
I was
my
in Baltimore.
folks
She was
from
trying to
Clark.
get closer to me. She was
Not
Atlanta,
for a reason,
then
but
DC,
we'll let him have
and
that.
Baltimore
We'll let him have that one.
for this guy.
Yeah. Anyway, but I got so many good memories from Clark Atlanta, and my dad lives in Georgia still, so we are always going to Atlanta.
Yep.
I
And Nigel
make those-
considering Atlanta for his college, possibly.
Yep.
Yes.
So, you know.
What house?
All right. Okay.
right.
Yes. Keeping HBCUs going.
That's right. And but my point, well, yeah, it was that 90s era, but it was really during the heyday of like that Atlanta hip hop scene explosion as well.
Yep.
And me being up here in the DMV would go down to see her, and it was during like the Outkast initial,
Big
coming on
time.
the scene with their first album.
Yes.
So like Outkast was huge. That era was starting to pop off. Atlanta it was also just awesome, man. It was just a
was.
good vibe. Come down there, just party and hang out.
It
The
was so much
college
fun.
scene was awesome. And it was just good times, right?
Yes, yes.
So this is very nostalgic.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, when I look at this, I think about my days in college. Really think about the parties, though. You know, a lot of my
I never
friends
did the parties.
go to the parties, but I had a great experience at the college as well. Okay, great instructors. Let me say this. Okay, I've been to. All right, I was at Clark for about a year, and then I left to go to Howard. I came back to Clark and went some more. But there is nothing like the HBCU experience, because in addition to Howard and Clark, I also went to a predominantly white college, white institution, and that's where I graduated from.
Different.
Yeah, and it is completely different, right? The Black experience is so great because you have Black instructors who understand what you are going through, entering into the workforce, how you're going to be perceived, and that kind of thing. And they discuss it in class. We had so many discussions about the Black experience living as an adult in life.
Yep.
And I wouldn't trade that for anything. It's such a great, and then just being around all your people who are coming from all over the world, and you're meeting different people. My roommate Brianna, what's up? Let me give a shout out to Brianna.
I got Brianna a pair too. Was able to procure a pair for her college roommate.
That was my roommate, my first roommate, and we became really close friends. We're still really good friends today, her and her husband. But you know, she was from the West Coast. I'm from the East Coast. So her experience was completely different than mine. So that was great, just seeing how Black culture is in all these other states once you come together in college.
It's so true. And I went to a predominantly white institution my freshman year, transferred to Morgan State where I graduated, historically Black college. And just, again, that experience was just totally different. And like you said, the experience of people coming from, you know, you're meeting people from New York, New Jersey, California, Texas, Florida, right? Everybody converging on this college campus. And it's like the experiences are the same, but they're also so different. You know, and everybody brings their own part and vibe into the culture. And then like the schools, the professors are different, the classes are different. And it's just a Afrocentric focus, right? Like the Black diaspora. And then you just get, it's just so nice and so different. You know, you get that 4 years or whatever of experience. And I think it just helps as a culture, you know, just putting us in a great position to just go out into the world.
That's right. I agree with that. Yeah.
So enough about the experience and what we broke down the shoes, components. Again, traditional dunk, but just done really well. Mommy C, what are your thoughts and your rating?
What? They put so much effort into this. There's a lot of detail in this shoe.
Agreed.
A lot of touches, a lot of little hidden things that I hadn't even noticed until I'm just like really analyzing it. I love the colors. I mean, it's the school colors, but you know, just such an affinity with the school that I'm gonna have to go with a 10.
Woo!
I'm giving it a 10.
Okay.
Yep, I sure am.
I like it. The shoe's dope. If I went to Clark, then I probably would have like a major love for the shoe. It's dope. I really like it. And I will say too, this shoe was designed by a Black female Clark alum.
Really?
So
You didn't say that. That's big.
Well, there you go. Just said it.
My
so
goodness.
all of the shoes in this collection, the four school drop, they're all done by Black women that are alums of the school: Tennessee State, Clark, FAMU, and North Carolina A&T, which is huge.
Curious about, are these typical shoe designers that came out of these schools?
You got to check it out. I mean, there's a lot of info online. Check that out. If y'all know, let us know down in the comments. But myself, I give this shoe, I mean, it's still a regular dunk, but it's not. I give it a 9.
Okay.
They did a lot to it. Only thing I would say, they could have upgraded the leather quality here. This could have been some nice premium plush, like soft leather.
Okay.
But, you know, it wasn't like a crazy expensive price point. It was $120. So you can't be mad at it.
Right. What do you guys think? What's your rating on this shoe? Let us know. If this was a MSU shoe, though, Morgan State,
Blue and
would
orange.
you give it a 10?
Probably. Of course. I love my blue and orange, man.
That's what it is.
Love my blue and orange.
Yeah, this is a nice sweatshirt
HBCU.
too. I like that.
Yeah, this sweatshirt is premium.
Yeah.
You got some Chanel and all kinds of stuff happening here. But again, hit up Game Sports Gear for those. But the shoes are dope. These are going to be dope for your little outfits.
Yay.
Look at that. You match.
I love it.
My baby, the alum.
Thank you,
Thanks for hanging out with us. Let us know what you think down in the comments, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.